This is Donald Bucket, Brown Lake Councilman. Mike Davis, Highway Superintendent. Leo Oliver, Town Clerk. Dick West, Councilman. Wayne Dino, Councilman. Don LaValle, Councilman, and Sue Castine, Area Legislator. And this is Bill Smith, our agent from Northern Insurance. Everybody hold on. Leo?
Going to save a piece for
Hey. Anybody wants to speak, you're all set. No, I'm going to use my own. Make it up and take mine. I want to thank everybody for coming today. And it turned out pretty good. Really nice day. And I know it's a happier day than it was on the 4th of February. It's the night that this garage all burned. And first of all, I'm just going to try to come the fourth bill today. And I hope I don't miss too many. The first is we'd like to thank the fire department. The Chazy Fire Department responded, and the help of all the others that helped us in trying to fight this fire. 8 years ago, I think almost to the day, a new building was dedicated. And it was the first time that the town of Chazy could operate under one place, the whole highway department. It was quite an achievement for the people in them days, the town board and everything. A few years later, the back storage shed was added. And that made it pretty handy there. And today we've got a lot of people to thank to make this possible. And we had from the firemen to the auxiliary who came February 4th, and many others who pitched in over the following months. We never could have got back without them. And begin first with February 5th, we had a special town board meeting. And as we were meeting, we had phone calls were coming in, and highway superintendents and supervisors from all over the county were coming to see what they could do, or they were called. And offering trucks, plows, sanders, or anything else. And late that afternoon, we had enough equipment to get back on and maintain our highway. We then decided to close that back storage shed and make a shop. We had doors installed, and we insulated one bay and put a heating system in. Now, about 10 working days, that was complete, and we did all our maintenance work, never sent nothing out. The next project was to put towers on. With the help of Chazy Westport Telephone Company, they came here, they set up poles, they did a lot of stuff. I guess they even came and worked with their bucket truck while the electrician was here. And we thank them an awful lot, no cost to the town. I don't know, is there anybody from Chazy Westport here? Well, anyway, we thank them because there was a lot of time that they spent with it. Then, after we got that underway, we decided to kind of pick up the pieces and rebuild. And then how far we would go would depend on how far the money went and what the cost would be. We spent a lot of time with insurance, adjusters, and everything else. It takes a lot of time. And this place was a mess for a while, but we had to give them time to look things over because it was a big loss. And we spent a lot of time with the insurance and everything, and I think they paid off, and I believe we got a fair settlement with them. And right now, I'd like to thank Bill Smith and Northern Insurance for the many trips, sometimes daily, and phone calls and everything else that were involved in this settlement. Bill, thank you an awful lot. This is Bill Smith, our insurance agent, if you don't know him. And also, I don't know Mike Ryan. He was the adjuster for almost everything but the vehicle. Again, we think he did an awful nice job. We spent a lot of hours with him. He went over all kind of figures with me before he ever turned them in to see if they sounded all right. And I'm sure that he did the best he could. So when we decided to build, we decided to do just about the same thing because it seemed to serve the purpose so well. We would build the same building. Then the DEC came along and said you got to move everything to Scarlet Falls. So everything had to be sorted out and separated. And there was a problem again, we didn't have any truck. And I don't know, Joe Rada came and he offered use of his truck and he hauled it to Scarlet Falls for us at no cost. The only thing we had to pay is the tipping fee at the landfill like everybody else. The highway crew did all the cleaning. Again, we made a pretty good on that. We got paid for it, and I think the bill was over $11,000. We received an insurance for doing our own cleaning. That was about what we were covered for insurance. Then we advertised for bids for a few different things. We got some successful bidders and some good prices and good work completed. The first came the doors. They were put in by Lake Champlain Doors from Milton, Vermont. I think Mike Bishard is somewhere around here. Mike Bishard in the back. He's the man that put these in, and we're well satisfied with him. The building itself was put up by Lake Champlain Development, and George Daniels was the foreman. And I think he did a nice job. Then the shell was up and the steel siding was on, but we had a lot more to do, and for some reason or other, the rest of this thing got kind of turned over to our maintenance man, Conrad Bishop. Conrad is right back there. I guess he got put in charge somewhere or other. And with the help of the Line Mountain Correctional Facility, we were able to complete the building, which we didn't know at that time. And Bob Skavish and his inmate crew, they did all the insulating, the drywall, taping, electrical, and painting. And at this time, I don't think Bob is here. I expected him. And if he was here, if he isn't, we have applied. I'd like to read it off. It says, Town of Chazy Highway Garage, dedicated October 27, 1991. Appreciation of the efforts of Line Mountain Correctional Facility, crew number 3, in completing the interior of the facility. Crew officer Robert Saskatchewan. And the crew was Jose Rivera, Louis Brailford, Philip Reinhardt, Robert Husband, Andre Anderson, David Timmons, and Jerry Stackerford. These men did all the inside work except what was left on that floor. And some help with the hardware side also. And this flag, I'd like to have it put somewhere in here as a reminder to these people. I wish Bob was in. He might be here later. The heating system was put out to bid, and Bob Christian was a successful bidder on that. The security system will be in here. It will be a heat and smoke system, and that isn't in yet. And the only thing left to do is put that in, and then we'll have the blown insulation put in the ceiling. We're waiting for the system to be put in. That will be put in by Concept Ventures, the Lake Placid, and Rascal Brothers will do the insulation. And this was all going on. We did have the job to re-equip the highway department. You know, every truck was lost. There were 7 of them lined up out there. There wasn't anything here, except for the stuff that was in the back shed that wasn't lost. That included our fleet of trucks and our front-end loader, and a lot of maintenance items, and the garage things we need to maintain a garage like this. We now have, as you see them out here, there's 3 1992 trucks. They're outfitted to plow and sand, and Max tells me today they're ready to go. If we had a storm tonight, they're all set to go. We have a new front end loader, which is out here also, that we purchased. These were all bought on state contract. They're savings to the town. And we picked up a lot of other vehicles through the Office of General Services. And they were very generous to us. We'd like to ask you if anybody wants to walk around, spend the afternoon, you're welcome to do so.
I have a couple people I'd like to recognize. Jack Dragoon, supervisor. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. And we'll have refreshments put on by Sharon Nephew. And if you want to go out, we have another place, the other shed we enclosed. There's a workshop there. Take a look at it. That'll be a backup place. And yes, Max, we want to recognize, and I have them here somewhere. These are the towns that came to loan Max all kind of equipment and everything, and all Sable. Supervisor there, Bob Mitchell. Highway Superintendent is Timothy Booth. I don't know if anybody knows this. Beamantown, Supervisor Florence Morrow, Highway Superintendent Tom Sears. Champlain, Leo Letourneau, Highway Superintendent Joe Faneff. Town of Warren, Jack Dragoon, Supervisor Ken Billy, Highway Superintendent. Jack, thank you for coming. Glassburg, Arthur Fay, Supervisor Nelson Tamer, Highway Superintendent. The town of Scarlet Falls, Supervisor Bernard Barber, Highway Superintendent Herbert St. John. We had a man from here, yes. Michael Brandon, Highway Superintendent Elmer Dupree. Elmer, thank you a lot. That's about all I've got to say is that I wouldn't want to speak, and anybody has anything, or Max, anybody wants to say something, you're welcome. But thanks again for coming, and we want to thank everybody for helping us.
Hello, you just heard George talk here, Mr. Dino, the supervisor, and George, I've just met you for the first time. I've seen you a lot. You tell me you see me on television.
See you a lot of times.
A lot of times on TV, so face this way so we get your picture. I keep getting, alrighty, good. Now, where are you from? You been in Chazy all your life here?
Yeah, I live in West Chazy.
In West Chazy?
Yeah, I've lived there all my life.
That's the Dino at the farms
That's
over there?
right. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, right on 22.
What about Father Dino? Is there a father?
Yeah,
a father?
he's my brother.
He's your brother. All right, the head of education in the Catholic system.
Yeah.
All right.
He's superintendent. of the Catholic
Okay.
school. Yeah.
Now, is this a full-time job for you as supervisor?
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Are you on the farm?
I'm on the farm. Yes.
You're on the farm.
I milk cows night and morning.
Night and morning. So that's all right. So when you want a vacation, you go and work as supervisor.
Yeah, I come down every day. I'm
All
down
right.
here every morning.
Okay. Now they're going to ask us sooner or later. Someone's going to say you open this thing 10 days before election so you can show you did something. What are you going to tell those people? They're going to say it's always last year.
It just happened that way.
It happened
And
that
I
way.
think you'll see by the speech it was nothing political.
All right. And
We're not taking credit for anything. We're giving credit to the people who put this thing up.
all right. See, I put him on the spot.
It wasn't
All right.
done as a political thing, and
But
I don't have no opponent anyway. So I have
you don't have any opponent. All right. Then we haven't got to wish him good luck, then, have we? All right.
Well, I don't think that.
All right. How long have you been supervisor?
I have just completed the first term.
Okay, first. Now tell me this: what do you do? What did you do? I thought you replaced Harold when he retired.
Harold retired.
Okay.
He was in here many years. And
Yes.
he retired.
All right. Have you ever been in politics before this?
Yes.
Oh, you have been
Years ago.
councilman,
I
or
was councilman in town justice.
okay.
So that's 20 years ago.
Now, how much time do you put in as supervisor? What do you do in a normal?
It's hard. I come down to the office every day from 9 till noon. But then you might be doing something before, you'll do something in the evening, do something in the afternoon. As far as the hours, it's full-time in a way,
Okay.
but you're able to do something else.
Okay.
It's really a full-time job. And this has made it more because since February of this fire.
Yes. All right. Now, getting to your building. When did they start to do the actual construction to put it back up?
It was about the 10th of June.
And who did it? Did you say?
Lake Champlain Development.
Lake Champlain.
They put up the frame and the steel siding. That's all they did. And they completed it very soon. I don't remember just when, but early part of July.
All right, people will want to know. Don't have to give me actual figures on the TV here, but did your insurance pretty well cover your putting the building back up?
Yes, it did.
It did. Hey, that's good news to you people there at Chazy.
It covered it, and this is why it covered it, is because we had all the volunteer help. The interior was done with no cost.
I understand that. Your own employees did this?
Our employees cleaned up, but then we had inmates from Line Mountain. They did all the inside.
Okay, now they may be on TV here watching. Who knows? You want to thank them right here again?
Well, I wish Bob was here today because he was a crew leader.
Siskavich, you said?
Bob Siskavich was a crew leader, and his inmate crew was really great.
That's great. They help a lot in this area.
They insulated this, they put the drywalls up, they did the taping, they did the painting, and all the electrical wiring was done by inmates. Every bit of it. None of it was contracted out.
Okay. Now, is there anything else you've got to do to replace what you had here before? You've got all your equipment again? You said it's all new?
We don't have everything we need yet, but we have 3 new trucks. They'll be our main workhorses. They'll be the plows and sanders. And we have some other older units we bought from other towns that we'll be using. And we're short a little bit on trucks yet.
Okay.
But like our front end loader, that's new, so we can operate.
Okay, got it.
No problem.
And this will be for your storage of your truck. There'll be any work
Yeah.
done in here? Some work on them?
The workshop is in
The
the other
next door,
side.
we saw that. This heats this unit. That's a separate heating
This-
system for the
heating
workshop.
system for this shop is run by this one. The front part is hot air or hot water.
Okay,
This
we're
is
going to be
hot air.
talking with Max, and maybe have Max show us a few things around. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me on TV here while
Well, I'd like
you got
just-
the chance?
Just look around, and if
Okay.
you have any questions, ask some of the men that are around
Okay,
here.
you get
or
a
ask
chance
me,
to go
or-
see some of the people. A lot of people here, people that I recognize over
Yeah.
the years, and nice meeting you, George, and
Well,
very
okay,
best of
well,
luck.
I've seen you
And-
a lot of times. Nice shaking hands. with you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, George Dino, the supervisor of the town of Chazy. Remember, that's not Chazy Village. There is no Chazy Village. That's the town of Chazy, which includes Scioto
West Chazy.
West Chazy.
Ingraham,
and, of course, Chazy itself, right?
Chazy.
And your offices are in the
right on Main Street in Chazy.
the old Methodist church on
Yes.
Main Street. If you got a problem, you want to complain to somebody, come in and see this guy right here. Complain to him. Tell him you heard it on TV. Thanks, George.
Okay,
Right,
thank you.
bye-bye. We were in the garage and we wanted to talk to Max Davis, and we didn't know where, and Calvin came across your wife, Max. And we asked if you knew, well, she knew where you were. She said, check the food line. So that's where we went.
No.
And you weren't there.
I didn't have time yet.
Okay. All right, you are the
Highway superintendent.
highway superintendent for the town of Chazy, and the last time we came here, you were having an ice storm, if you remember.
That's right.
And you were in a trailer next door,
Right.
eh? A mobile trailer. And what a difference today. And we're standing in, what is your office?
This is my office.
Okay, how much time do you get to spend in here?
Well, up until now, very, very little. We just moved in a couple days
Right,
ago.
but I mean, how much time will you as a...
Oh, it's quite a bit.
Are you out much on the road also? Do you get out? or?
The biggest majority of my time is spent out on the roads, yes. But the rest of it is spent here.
Okay.
The duties of the highway superintendent.
Okay. Do you have a secretary? Who answers
No,
your
no.
phone when you're not here?
Most of the business is conducted through the town supervisor's office.
All right, so that Shan Moore would answer the phone and get a message to you here. Okay, and there's your walkie-talkies back there, I see, right? And you have radios between your
Yes.
trucks and so
All
forth?
all of our vehicles are radio equipped.
Okay, are you a happy man today?
Oh, certainly.
Absolutely,
I'm
and-
very happy to be in this building.
Absolutely, right? It's been tough operating from out and under a tent, so to speak.
It's been stressful, to say the least.
Yes, but of course your employees are to be thanked, obviously,
Oh,
for all
yes.
they put up with, right?
Yes,
And
right.
and your local citizens of Chazy who understood, and all those people from the other towns who I think that George thanked for the loan of
Right.
their equipment. All right, anything else you want to tell us here? Tell us what we're looking at. This is a 12 by
This is
15 office.
this building is virtually the same size as the other building was. It's 6 inches wide, 12 inches wider and 12 inches longer because of the way it was constructed. The new building was constructed on the old floor.
So the floor is the same.
Floor is the same
The base is
as
there.
the building had before. And just the building itself is 6 inches on every wall.
Did you
Larger.
follow the same plans basically?
The
as you had
floor
before?
plan is almost all the same except the office, the break room, and the tool room, which has been changed around a little bit. And I feel it's a little more convenient the way we've got it set up than it was before.
Okay, well, show us a little bit. You have.
Before the
You got a lot of
office-
space in here. Are you going to have
Office.
extra chairs, or what are you going to have in here?
The office and the break room before were combined.
And you don't need that,
I didn't
right?
like that.
No, you don't need that.
So now we have the break room in the back, and we have
Yes.
a much smaller office up
Yeah.
front, and any people that come to visit us will be coming through this office.
Right.
And then the men will have their
Right.
room in the back.
And besides that, Max, there may be an employee you want to talk to sometime because he
Yes.
needs talking to,
We need
or
confidentiality.
he may want to ask you something.
Exactly.
And he can do that in
Right.
here and feel like it's confidential.
Right.
And then you can discuss it behind closed doors the way it should be,
Right.
rather than out among the other employees or out in a truck someplace, you know?
Exactly.
All right. And so are you going to have chairs
Oh,
in
yes.
here? You're going to have a
We-
table or something?
I'll have more furniture in
Uh-huh.
here, and some places somebody can sit down and visit if they need to.
Okay, all right, so we're going to come and just sit and visit later on here, all right?
Yes.
So you go from your office, there's a door?
There's a door between my office and what will be the maintenance and the tool room.
Okay, let's go through here, if you can
And
see what we're, there'll be a,
This will be with shelves on the wall, storage for parts, tools, and probably someplace for the maintenance mechanic to keep maintenance records to
Okay.
for the.
There's a door back here, is that a?
Well, that's the things we'll keep on the lock.
Okay, that's, okay. Now, I noticed here before, I think when we were walking through and I asked you, and we're gonna do it on TV now, this is unusual to see any part under the heater. What is this?
Well, this building was a pole barn construction type of building before, and it had 6x6s sunk into the ground, which supported the building, the roof. After the building was destroyed, we went with the same type of construction, and rather than disturbing what we had, we just went outside of that 6 inches, sunk our new poles down, and on the same footings that we had before. This has a frost wall all the way around the floor.
Okay, so
We kept that.
this is not, the wall is not on this cement, it's on the outside of the cement.
And
Okay.
the cement was just brought inside to keep, well, as one of the crew said, to keep the critters out.
Okay, well, that'll do it, that'll do it. Okay, so this will be your parts and so forth, your heating system?
Yes, brand new heating system.
Now, we
This is
saw
hot
two
water.
furnaces down below.
Well, this is hot water for this section. We have a firewall between the the truck garage and the shop and the offices.
Okay.
And everything is completely independent of each other now. And we have a heating system on this side, and we have a heating system on the other side. It's hot air on the other side, this is hot water.
So you're telling me, I think I understand that where we were, and where the tables were set up, and where we just had the other interview, that will not be a shop. You aren't going to work on trucks in there as such.
Well, we'll do some
So, but the
small
real shop
minor-
is another bay in
Right
here we're going to look
Just
at.
inside
All right.
here. That's where the mechanic spends his time.
Okay, this is hot water heat.
Right.
Okay. Okay, where are we now?
This is a men's break room. This is where they report to work and usually when they leave.
Oh, you got to be careful though. You said a men's break room. What if you got a woman here? This also her break room?
Employee break.
Employee. Listen, hey, we're going to get a harassment here. We're early charges here.
And, well, it's different than it was before. We have a place for coffee bar. We have a counter here to fill out paperwork and reports for the vehicles, and lockers, refrigerator for them to store their lunches in. And
Are you telling me that if you've been out on the plow for 4 hours at 4 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock, that it's nice to come in and have a cup of coffee?
it most certainly is.
I'll bet it is. Just take your feet up off the, and sit
And
down
relax for a few
maybe
minutes.
for 15, 20 minutes and go back out and finish up the plowing.
Right.
How early do you get out? You think you told me 5?
Well,
or whenever the sowing
usually we
starts?
go out 4 o'clock in the morning and check the roads, and if we need sand or plowing or something, then the men usually are in by 5 and out on the road so that people can move around by 7.
I think you told me off camera when I first got here that you have 8 employees.
Right.
And do they all drive trucks? Are they all out on the highway, or do you have some that don't?
One of those 8 people are a mechanic, and he would be in here, and the maintenance on all the vehicles.
Yeah, now, having these new trucks, there won't be quite too much maintenance on that right away?
Well, the trucks are new, but the sanders were the ones that went through the fire, so were the plows.
Okay.
We have some used trucks we bought that will require maintenance that, in fact, one of them would probably be revamped pretty
Okay.
much. And
All right, the lockers for the men here,
Yes.
and an outside door coming in from outside, you got it here. And go ahead, we'll look outside in the shop. All right, we're standing in what you say is the shop.
the mechanic's shop,
All right, now this has doors at both ends.
so that you can drive through. If you have a disabled vehicle, you can tow it in,
Tow it right in, right.
or push it in,
All
or
right.
whatever.
And if you had one and you want to drive through, you don't have to move the one behind because you can go
Exactly.
either way.
Exactly.
All right, and there'll be, I assume that with these lines and these plugs, you're going to have some tables along the side or your workbenches?
We'll have a workbench along this wall
Right.
with a sink down at this end for whatever, parts cleaning and what have you.
Right.
We'll have more welding setup will be over here, and there'll be drill presses and things like this on the wall.
All right, I see everything slopes to the middle here where you have the floor drain. That was there before?
Yes.
Okay. Was the shop right here before in the same place? It was. Now, what's overhead here that Calvin was just looking at? You got a lot of room up there, right? What kind of storage would you have? Tires? Do you have tires?
Almost anything. Anything, signs, signposts.
We kind of forget that, I guess.
Things that we use in the wintertime, we don't use in the summertime, would be stored there.
Did you have a space like that before?
Yes, we did.
You did have that. Oh, no. So it must have been done right. The idea was good. Most of it, you're doing it the very same way.
The difference before, this part up here was open before, and we lost a lot of heat up there. So we have a wall here now.
Oh, that slides. It's a sliding door.
We can block it off so that we don't lose all that heat here.
Good idea. Yeah.
And we also have it big enough so that we can use our front end loader to put heavy objects up there and take them down.
All right. Now this will be heated by these units up above.
Yes.
With hot water. And you can see the copper pipes coming in and out.
And they have fans in them that blows the heat
Blows
down.
the heat. Very comfortable place to work, I take it.
Very nice.
Once you open that door and pull something in here, it takes a while to get that heat back,
Yes, it
probably,
does.
huh? I'll bet it does for sure. We were commenting about any idea what one of those doors costs?
Well, let's see, there's 7 doors. I think the contract was let on was around $14,000.
Only 2,000 apiece. We were guessing more than that. I thought 3,000 to 4,000. That's not too bad. Those are big doors.
Yes.
Very nice doors. All right. Anything else? Now this door, where does that go into? The rest?
Into the truck garage.
That goes into the truck garage, but which is heated by your hot air. That's the one we just were in before. It looks like I've got to clarify that last statement. I said that over here was heated by his hot air. By his hot air furnaces.
We want to get in on
Yes, listen, Father's over here.
We don't want to miss
to hear
anything.
his confession. Some of the things he's been telling us here. All right, well, let's see who these people are right here.
Jan Davis.
Of course, that's Jan. And
You know who I am.
well, tell those people. They don't all know you.
Does anybody that
Father
don't know
Gardner.
him?
Yes,
Father
they-
Gardner,
they
yes.
are some.
Huh?
They all think I'm like Father Susi, and I'm not. I'm honest and fair and kind and gentle.
And he's honest
I
and
didn't
fair.
say that.
Did
Got
you,
a nice place.
hey, did you just hear what your father, your friend Father Susi just won this morning from the fire department? He won a fold-up ladder for his upstairs. He can get out of a fire now.
Good.
Yeah, did you come to our breakfast? Better not ask you that.
No, I
You
didn't.
didn't?
I just
Okay.
felt like I got
All
it.
right. He won. His father, Susi tells me that Father Gardner is very jealous that he's not on half the time that Father Susi is.
That's
so he
right.
walks right in the middle of our interview with the highway department.
It's bad enough to watch St. Mary's Christmas Eve Mass once.
Yes.
But when you get them for the last 5 years, one right after the other, I mean, that's what gets you. Good.
You see how kind the priests are to each other?
We better get out of here. Finally.
Thank you, Father Gardner. Well, Max, you gotta believe that that's ironic. We're talking about hot air, and who arrived but your wife and Father Gardner. Now, they're talking about hot air, right?
Yes.
All right.
No comment.
What we were trying to say is that this section is heated by your hot air furnaces, which are out here. All right.
One is the oil and one is wood.
All right. So you'll use one or the other.
Right.
You're going to
Either
burn
or.
wood. Where are you going to store your wood? Right in here?
Well, we have a large storage of wood out back. and
You
we bring
intend
it
to
in.
use wood a lot?
Oh, we'll use wood all winter.
You do?
Oh, yes.
Didn't know that.
The oil heat is for when we're not here.
All
we
right.
don't.
Okay,
try
you
to-
have 5 big doors here now, Max. Is there any particular plan what you're going to put in any one bay?
Yes, we have 3 snowplows in these first 3 bays.
Okay.
They're sitting right outside there, as you can see them.
Yes.
And then we'll have the front end loader over here.
That'll be in the 4th door.
Right. But there'll be another vehicle in the same time, the one behind
yeah,
the other.
well, you could be. Well,
But the
all right.
snowplows, on the front of them, it takes a whole bay for a snowplow. And then we'll have 2 trucks in each of the other 2 bays.
Okay.
And
So everything will be inside
yes,
whenever you want it to be.
everything will be undercover when it snows.
It must be nice when you get out in the morning, get here at 4 o'clock, you get in something that's perfectly clean.
It
Huh?
most certainly is.
And there's no snow underneath and everything else?
When the men go out on the road plowing, they have a vehicle that's semi-warm anyway.
Right. What do you have up here now? This is we hate to look at, but this is the fire.
That's a pictorial history from February 4th until today.
Until today, your fire, and then some of the pictures. Excuse me.
And That's the day of the fire, the day after the fire, the cleanup, and then the construction phase in June and July, and then the construction phase inside August through October.
Okay. Then the open house.
Then the open house over there today.
Yeah. One thing I like to mention over here, you do give credit to Laverne Dutcher for assisting with the recording of this event in photographs,
Right.
in photos.
Right.
I'd like to thank him for that.
She's a reporter for the Press Republican.
All right. And then some of the months here, and who put this display up?
Shan
That's
Moore.
Shan Moore. Well, we should have thought. We should have known that. This is some of the original pictures that looked that bad, that dark.
Right.
You can notice here how black they were, because if you remember, Calvin took pictures here either late February or early March, showed all the charred black trucks outside. They were all parked out there. We were out doing an ice storm that day. It was very, very ironic also.
The trucks sitting out front have the same plows and sanders on them that were on those trucks after the fire.
Okay.
Which is significant. It was a pretty good savings for the town.
Now this big sand pile I see outside,
That just appeared there in the last couple of weeks.
so that is brought there with your trucks?
Well, we hired a couple trucks to help us.
Is that sand for this year for your
This
road?
coming year.
How many tons or how many loads of,
I'd say there's 4,000 yards of sand there at least, maybe a little more.
and how many in the truck?
Usually 8.
So that's
8 yards.
what's that, 500? truckloads?
And more than that.
More than that, when you go out there and
Well,
spread
there
these.
was probably 300 truckloads there when we started.
Okay, let's go out and look at the back of that truck, and you can show us what happens to the sand and how you disperse it. Okay, we were just coming out to look at one of the sanders, and Max sees some people here that he knows. And who do we have here?
We have Nelson Tamer from the town of Plattsburgh, who's a highway superintendent in the town of Plattsburgh.
He's much younger than the Chazy Highway Superintendent,
Let's
isn't
not
he?
talk about that.
All right. What do you think? You're much younger, right?
Oh yes,
Hey?
about half probably.
You're pretty good friends, are you?
Yeah, real good friends. And whatever, all the highway superintendents, when one's in trouble, everybody pulls together.
I understand that, yes.
And Nelson helped us more than the average this last year. He let us have a loader for 2 months, which is a big savings to our town. And he's done a lot of moving equipment for us, and he's been a tremendous help to us.
Well, you know, I made to believe I didn't know him, but I have. I've seen him several times, and he said he's going to get that back tenfold sooner or later from you. All right? And who's this nice lady right here, too?
I think that's his wife.
Isn't that what, Julie?
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. And you, is Mac calling on you for
First time I met Julie.
Oh,
too.
well, there you are, Max Davis. Yes, your husband's been helping this guy. Here we go. All right, and what about the town of Plattsburgh? You all set for the winter weather?
Our sand's all done. We're all ready. We're putting sanders together yet.
You got your trucks back from Chazy now?
All
and
they have is our loader, and we've got that back right
you
now.
got it back and going, huh?
It's being used in Skull Falls right now. They're using it.
They're using
Theirs is
it.
being repaired. They got ours.
All right. Well, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay, nice. And thank you for coming to see the opening here, too.
Thank you, Nelson.
Okay, we're looking, I guess, what do we call this?
That's a material spreader.
A material spreader, because other than
Technical
saying.
name for it.
All right. If you look inside, I don't know if Calvin can see that, but it slopes down.
It has a hopper
All right, and so you load it with a front end loader,
with salted sand,
salted sand. All right.
and it comes out the back here with this carrier chain.
Carry it. It drops it
down
into here.
the chute, and then we have a spinner down here that spins it out the width of the road.
Now this turns,
Yes.
and as this turns, it hits.
It hits this.
These baffles go up, or
These are adjustable
for the width.
the pattern that you want on the road, so that you can cover the whole road or just one
okay,
lane.
and it sprays the sand out. And aren't you glad when you go to work at 7 o'clock that they've been out ahead of you, right?
That's correct. These are controlled. The speed of the carrier chain is controlled from inside the cab, and so is the speed of the spinner. And faster the spinner spins, larger the
Okay.
pattern.
There's nobody in the back of this at all. Just
No,
the two
no.
people on the truck.
There's 2 people on the truck. They're both inside.
Okay. And we're getting a little bit of rain now here. The weather is starting to turn. We've had a great week, haven't we, around? And this is a new truck over here?
all three of these
All
trucks
three are
brand
new trucks, right? And these are your old...
That's right.
And you've been repainted?
They've been revamped completely.
Okay.
Hydraulics and all.
And you take these off completely. When you say material spreader, what else would you spread? Salt? The old days?
Salt, yes, but the nomenclature is material
Material.
spreader.
So you could spread other things if you wanted.
Well, when you say sander, people think of something that you sand wood with.
Oh, I probably would if I had a chance, too. All right. And the other garage, what will that be used for?
That was the existing garage at the time of the fire. That had the equipment that didn't get destroyed in it.
Right. And
We
it had no
converted-
doors before.
No. We put the doors on after the fire. We winterized one bay, and that has been our shop that to maintain our trucks
Okay.
since the fire.
Will that be used for now when you're
That
using
will be a spare shop. It will be used for long-term projects. We'll put a truck in there that we want to revamp completely or something, and we won't have to move it around.
Okay, what about the other three doors?
That's storage. We keep our summer equipment in there in the wintertime, such as our grader, our tractors, and things like that.
Okay, we'll let Max get back to his people here to thank the people
Thank
for
you very
going. Is
much.
there anything else you want to tell me before we shut off here?
Well, yes. I think it's important for the people to know that since the fire, all this has been replaced, and the town hasn't borrowed any money to do this, and the tax rate for the next year will be the same as it was this year. I think that's a significant accomplishment for the town board and myself.
That's very good. I'm glad you mentioned it. I talked to George. We'll ask if there's enough insurance money and so forth for the basic, with the the donated help you had. And apparently you did not go into any debts at all. And got a nice location out here. It's all under one roof, right?
Yes, it is.
Anything else, Max?
That's pretty much it.
You want to get back at your wife? You want to get back at Father Gardner or anybody else?
No, I don't think
Want to get
so.
back in the food line?
I want to get back in the food line.
Okay, thanks a lot, Max.
Thank you.
Okay, you're watching Bob Zen and Max Davis here, and the highway superintendent for the town of Chazy, who's been kind enough to show us a quick tour of the brand new building here on this October 27th. It's just a little about 2:20, and we're going to go home, watch some football now, and World Series tonight. Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
Right. I want you to know I've been in some pretty scary places in my life, like up in the Gulf and everything else, but never between four councilmen from the town of Chazy. You all councilmen? All right. But before I do any more, I'm going to ask who we got right here.
Dick West.
Don LaValle.
Wayne Dino.
Dino. I thought that man Dino was the supervisor.
Well, there's two of us.
There's two of you.
Two Dinos.
Related?
Yeah. Yeah, we're related.
Tell us how.
Cousins.
Your cousin. Listen to this West over here. I believe it. And this guy.
Donald Trombley.
Donald Trombley, but you're known as not Donald.
Bucket.
Bucket Trombley. But let me just tell you that if you saw Friday's paper, this is the new Northern Tier Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year for 1992. Right here, Bucket Trombley, a party coming up.
Thank
I
you.
don't know, and congratulations, I already did. As I said to Mrs. Zarneski, I was several years ago, so it's great to meet these people who are Citizens of the Year, and congratulations. All right, tell us a little bit here, starting from the right, Dick. All right, well, you see this man here, his face on TV before. You see his picture in the paper. A lot about him because he's been active with the old town.
The old home days.
Old home days
Oh, yeah.
in Chazy.
Oh,
For
yeah.
how many years, Dick?
This year will be 25.
20. The Winter Carnival.
Well, that's all sponsored by the Lions Club.
But you're in
which
that too,
we're
right?
part
You're
of that.
very active in that.
That's right.
And you
yeah.
spend some time at home in addition to your construction?
A little bit of time at home. A little bit. Have 4 children. I spent a little bit of time there.
All right. So tell us what your feeling is today with seeing the garage back here again. And
Oh, it's a very great feeling of satisfaction. We were kind of down and out on February 4th, but our consensus was that if we hung together and proceeded cautiously, that coming about 6 or 8 months, we'd be back online with some decent equipment, and we are. As you know, we purchased 3 new plows, a new front end loader, and rehab some of the equipment that got damaged, and we're ready to go. And as Max was saying a little while ago, if it storms tomorrow, the vehicles are online and ready to go.
very good.
So that's not bad in roughly 6 months' time.
Not a bit.
And we replaced the building pretty much as original with a number of improvements. So we should be good for a while.
I've never talked to one person so long and never say anything.
Right.
He got right in. He just took right over, didn't
and he doesn't leave anything for me to say.
Well, what are you going to tell us? You tell us something. You got a nice wife. I met her. She's standing over there, right there. Look at the wife right over there. Now tell me.
I really don't know how she put up with me for 37 years.
How long have you been on the board?
12 years.
12 years. So you saw this when it was first built,
Right.
right, originally, and now then the sadness of losing it after all the work
Exactly,
getting in to do
yes.
it. What other big projects have you seen since you've been on the board? The other things that you've been involved
Well, when
with?
I was on the board, we built the old garage, which burnt.
Mhm.
And, well, we purchased, well, I was on the board when we purchased this land here.
Before you had it in different places, right?
Right. In fact, the miners gave us the land before we built. We built the other building, then we built the shed that's in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess apparently that's about it.
As a councilman, do you get up to the garage buildings very much?
Yes, I've
You
been
do
up here.
come up here?
I've been up here watching
Yeah.
build. Yeah.
Do they feel like you're over here prying or anything like that?
No, I don't think so.
No,
I
you're-
just come up here as a taxpayer. I was up here.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. You do pay taxes too. I thought
A little bit.
I thought one of the perks of being a councilman, you don't pay any more taxes.
We pay more.
Oh, you pay more.
Yeah,
Huh?
you have to buy your position. You know.
Thanks very much. You believe everything he just said?
Well, pretty well.
The Dinos I mentioned before, the supervisor. Are you a farmer also?
Yes.
You are a farmer also. As you might have heard when we were off camera getting another battery, that I mentioned that you have no real manufacturing business in the town of Chazy. Do you really, of any size?
No.
And so you're talking with the lake property? A lot of good, nice lake property here. You get pretty good assessments down there. They've raised all the way along the lake. And your farmers, and that's who's paying this taxes and getting this nice guy. You got a beautiful recreation field put up. Is that also the town of Chazy's?
Right.
That's the town, because Chazy Hamlet is not a village. There's no, the only government is the town government.
Right.
Correct? How long have you been on the board, Mr. Dino?
4 years.
You enjoying it?
Yes, very much.
How often do you have meetings?
Oh, once a month, and since this garage burnt, we've had them quite often. I don't know how many we've had, but you don't always.
3 or 4 times a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of meetings, and that's why we got it built and didn't spend a lot of money. Well, we spent a lot, but we didn't go over our insurance money. And
That's great. That's great. You know, George was telling us that you didn't.
we don't owe nobody. That
Okay.
was the main thing.
Anything else you want to tell me that I can't think of to ask you right now? That
Well, other than I'm up for re-election.
you're up for re-election. Is that good or bad?
Well,
You got the opposition?
Yeah.
We better not mention any names. Maybe we should have. This may not be shown until after that's over. You know, I asked George, was this one? We asked him. I said, is there any significance in that the garage opening a few days before election? And he said no. It's just that came up, right? Yeah. All righty. And how long have you been on the Bucket? How long have you been on or Donald? I call you Donald. I wonder who I'm talking to. How long have you been on the board?
Well, since I've been involved in politics, I first started out 6 years as tax collector. I was assessor 1 year, and at the present time, I have 14 years as councilman,
So you've got.
giving me roughly 23 years.
So you and Dick are the
Town
deans, or no, Mr. LaValle are the deans
Right.
of the. Right? I didn't ask Dick how long he'd been on. How
this-
many are there on the board?
There's 4 councilmen and a supervisor.
Oh, so you're all right here. The 4 of you are right
Right.
here. Do you think it's scary that these people right here are running your town government, these 4 people? I hope not, because look at the great job they're doing. And this man must say to himself, what in the world is he saying here on television? We'll get away with it, I'll tell you. All right?
Good.
All right. Anything else that you can think of that I haven't thought to talk about?
Well, Dick and Don have both covered the garage quite well. And the minor foundation at the time was under Mr. Lundy. We started out with Mr. Lundy, then it went to the late Dr. Harry Randy, and that's when we acquired the property that
Right.
we're on. And all the improvement. We also made some improvements at the down at the by the town hall, by the town offices in that garage for storages, and we improved the roof there and everything.
Now, as town councilman, do you have anything to do with hiring people that work for these highway superintendents, or does he do the hiring? Or does he recommend, or how does that
The
work?
highway,
does it pretty well.
the highway superintendent does
He
the
takes
hiring,
care of that,
but
right?
he usually consults with the board.
Okay.
with what he's doing.
I understand they've been very good during this transition period since last February. The employees have done a great
Everybody
job.
is.
Huh?
Very good.
We've had a lot of meetings. We never just jumped into something. We had meetings. We thoroughly thought of what we were going to do. We all put our heads together, and this is what we came up with, because we didn't take drastic steps in making a rash judgment.
Okay.
If
took
we would
pains,
have, we would have been in the hole. Maybe.
Yeah.
and we investigated what we were doing.
Okay.
Had we gone the other way, I'm sure it would have cost us a lot more money.
Oh, you looked at a very nice facility here. Very, very light in here. Well, I've been talking.
I just wanted to mention, you mentioned the recreation parks.
Yes.
That started back when the Chamber of Commerce, at the time I was involved in, and we went to the town board as to its time we have recreation area. When we first started out with Chazy, the Chamber worked along with the town board at that time, and the property was acquired through the Sacred Heart Parish for $1 for X number of years. I forgot exactly what it was. And the town made improvements. The Lions Club has put a lot of money in there. The Grange donated money, a lot of organizations. And this is what made the recreation park in Chazy what it is. And the Lions Club is still continuing to put money into it. And the town also keeps improving it. And along with that, then you had Sauda and West Chazy without a recreation area. So then we went to the West Chazy, started one up there, trying to add different things. Like up there, they have a riding corral, which was put in under when Harold Joubert was supervising. Rounding out things that can be done at the rec areas. Then they also started one in Sauda, which is part of the town of Chazy.
Yep.
So actually, we have
You have three also.
recreation parks,
Yep.
which we can be proud of.
Well, let me tell you, as a citizen of the town of Champlain, I'm very envious of both Chazy and Moores, but not without knowing you did an awful lot of work. Moores has 3, and you have 3, and yours, just outside the hamlet here, is second to none. And they come from all around the area to use it. I know that Erish used it, Harris used to use it, other communities use it here.
Well, as you notice in the Chazy Rec Park, if you've ever been down to the old home days,
Yes.
without the row of trees that goes down through the center of that park,
Right?
it wouldn't be the same
No,
park.
no, oh no.
Now, I can remember Harry Neverett coming to one of our first old home day events. And he told me, Bucky, he says, you have a beautiful park here. But he says, that row of trees is worth $1 million. He says, you got to keep that, otherwise you're going to lose the atmosphere of what your park is. So just a few years ago, we started a tree planting program to plant a tree in honor of the senior citizen, not senior citizen, but the King and Queen for that particular year. Well, this was done through the Lions Club, and I suggested we do that, but everybody got involved at that time because they thought it was a great idea. So consequently, now I don't know, they've planted some 50 to 70 trees down there.
You're going to have a farm.
That are, right. So we have another row of trees which are coming along
That's
to
great.
replace when the other ones go.
Well, I congratulate you on and the town. I've lost the other 2, so thank you very much, gentlemen, for talking with me.
I can
Yes?
say to conclude this that I think we got one of the best town boards in Clinton County.
Well, thank you very much. I'm sure that your people in the town of Chazy must believe that, and I hope you continue to. You've got a lot of experience on the board, and I hope you continue. And we're at the Chazy Town Garage. We've talked to the supervisor, George Dino, not this man, but his relative. We've talked to Max Davis. We talked to his wife to find out where he was. We've talked to the 4 members of the town board, and we see it's raining now, so we're going to call it quits, I guess, here. This is our last interview here at the... Maybe we talked to the ladies that put all the work. Who did the work, by the way?
Mrs. Nephew, Mrs. Sharon Nephew.
Where is she?
Sharon?
Yeah, talk to her a moment here. Maybe I could talk to Mrs. Nephew a second and find out all about it. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, we've got Mrs. Sharon nephew.
Yes.
I called her right out of the blue, surprised her like that. That's what we usually do. Tell us about the food here.
Just a few snacks, a little puffs and vegetables, and we got the donuts and the cider from Pitlack's Orchards. Just a little bit to donate to help my time for the town garage for all they do for us.
All right, well, what do you have to do with the town garage? Anything?
Well, I live in the district,
Yeah,
where they take care
yeah.
of our roads and everything too, and they've helped out us a lot when our driveway's frozen over quite a few times, with our culverts and everything. So I just help put my time in to
You
donate.
mean your husband don't work for the town? You don't work for the town, nothing like that?
No,
You
I'm,
did this as
I'm
a
original
gratis?
from Chazy. Yep.
And you
yep.
did this?
Just
Well,
to
am
help
I
out
ever
them.
glad I asked you about
Thank
this,
you.
because that is terrific.
No, help them out whenever way I can to help out.
And you've got your own donations and took care of this?
Yes.
Nothing didn't cost the town?
No,
it?
no.
Oh, I think that is tremendous. Have you ever done this before?
No, just helping out them. Just
I bet
helping
you
out.
most people here didn't know that, and it's too bad. I hope you people out there realize this, and when you see Sharon, thank her for this. And who's this lady right here?
This is my daughter Danielle.
Danielle, did you help do the work too? Huh? And I always like to find out, first of all, are you married?
No.
You're not married. Okay, then it's okay to talk with you. You go to school at Chazy? And what grade are you in?
First grade.
First grade. And you like school? So what did you do to help Mom with these?
I folded the napkins.
Yeah. Did you taste any of the food?
Yes.
You have to do that, right? Because if you don't taste it, it might not taste good, and you don't want to give anything that don't taste good, right? You got some very pretty earrings on. Did you know that? Okay, how old are you? 5. And you're in first grade? Well, you're moving right along, aren't you? Huh? Well, Sharon, thank you so much. I didn't expect to find out that I thought that this was something that the town was doing. But
Well, they more or less just put the money up just to prepare this stuff. That was
Okay,
it. But
well-
just put my time in to help them out.
thank
That
you
was it.
very, very much.
Well, you're
and nice
welcome.
talking with
Thank
you. Right? Goodbye. Isn't that nice that someone who appreciates the town and doing all this work they do on their road, they don't live right on the main road, that she would do this. And we're glad to have talked to her. And most of the people have left now, as you see. It's approaching 2:45, and we're glad to have been asked by Shane Moore to come over and video this. And we hope you've enjoyed finding out about the new Chazy Town Garage. Calvin Castine, as usual, on the camera, and Bob Venn saying thanks much for watching Hometown Cable. And don't forget, if you're not already a patron, please become one. If you have been in the past and you might be up for renewal, why don't you send in your $12 or more and keep this type of a program on the air, and you'll find out what's happening in our area. And again, thanks for your fine comments, and don't forget the other things that are being offered by Hometown Cable. Much better inside, Howard, than it was out while we were talking outside.
That's right.
I leave the jacket on for a second because I was just kind of getting warmed up. And welcome inside to the Pier Restaurant. We have Doris and Howard Lamberton here. And you are the owners of the Pier Restaurant?
That's correct. Well, we have we lease it.
Trick question I just threw you.
The owners of the restaurant are out of New York City, but we have we signed a 5-year lease with them.
Okay, so you've been operating how long?
It'll be 2 years in February.
Already?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, well, your smiling faces have been seen around before. What did you do before you came here, Doris?
We worked at Transborder for a while, and then we had a store in Champlain called Blood's Grocery for about 8 years.
Where was that?
Across from the old Harris plant.
Early morning rising and making the
Coffee.
the coffee and the what do you call the sandwiches? The big
subs.
The subs, yes, huh? Yeah. What's this Transborder you talk about? What kind of a company is that?
It's
It's a custom house broker.
U.S. custom house broker.
Yeah, that's the one behind my house on behind Church Street.
Correct.
Yeah, that Spiegel, Favreau and Company. All right. And Howard, before that, what were you doing? You also worked for another broker, didn't you?
Well, I had 13 years with F.W. Myers. And
Uh-huh.
then, like Doris said, we took over the store in Champlain. And then when Harris Graphics went out, then I had to do something. So
Yeah.
she ran the store for a year, and Sonny and Noel Spiegel with Transborder called me up and asked me if I'd go to work for them. So that's what I did for 4 years.
Okay, so when you came to a restaurant, it wasn't completely out of the blue. You were
Yes.
used to food a little
Yes.
bit, right? There,
Right.
obviously. And are we talking, now this is a beautiful location here with the scenery. We see your ad here on our Hometown Cable where you say, you come for the view, you'll come back for the food, and you certainly, first of all, have the, I haven't had your food yet this morning, but I certainly have had your view. It's gorgeous place, gorgeous. And how are things going? You've been very happy here?
Good. Oh yeah, had a great summer up until the tragedy here in August, but up until then we had a great summer.
Yeah. Now when you say the tragedy, oh, the fire,
Fire
of course.
on the pier.
Yes, we've talked about that. Yes, well, all right. Well, we've covered that. How many employees do you have on a regular basis?
In the summer we had up, what, maximum we had
32 employees.
32 employees. What do 32 people do here?
Oh, in the summertime there's...
Wait staff, kitchen help, dishwashers, bartenders.
You must have stepped in each. I mean,
Well, see, we serve out by the pool in the summertime, so it takes 2 or 3 just for out by the pool.
Okay, and you operate year-round?
Yeah.
All right. One of the reasons we stopped in here this morning, of course, we're always glad to see you. We'd have stopped in and said hello anyway, but we've heard about a spaghetti dinner coming up. So we were outside, Calvin said, we better go in and talk to Doris and Howard about this. And what's this spaghetti dinner you're going to have?
Well, I seen your program with Norm Bono on trying to raise money for computers for the school. So I said, well, I'd like to give him a hand. So I called Norm up and I told him that I would donate all the food and my time to cook it and so forth. And I talked to my people that work for me, and they said they would donate their time. And I got a hold of my kitchen help, and he said, "Sure, I'll be glad to help you." And so that's what we're going to do. And Norm is pre-selling tickets. And in fact, he gave me a call last night saying that Howard, it's going fantastic, and can you handle it? He says, so far we sold 250 tickets. So we're going to do our best to serve as many as possible. It was going to go from 5 to 8, but I'm just going to say now it's 5 until either the last person to serve or I run out. And if I run out, then we'll just give them a rain check and do it the following week.
Now this is for spaghetti, right? The spaghetti here. You seat about 80 people, I think you said, huh?
Yeah.
So if you sold, that's 3 settings already, and they haven't really. And how long have you been selling tickets?
I think Norm just started selling within the last. I don't think he even had the tickets printed up a week ago. Probably in the last 3 or 4 days.
All right. Not sure what this is going to show. Probably be already over by the time this is shown on TV. It'll be on this Sunday. Okay, well, we'll be on so that you people out there, if you want to see these people serve more spaghetti, you contact Norm Bono or any of the people, Pete Stone and any of the others that may be on his committee, any of the school children, I guess. And, I shouldn't say children there. We got the phone and some business are coming in. They're going to answer your trivia question. We'll take a break and be right back. Some people calling about the dinner, which is, what day is the Wednesday we're talking about?
November 6th.
November the 6th. And if you have so many you can't handle them all, you may continue on to the following Wednesday.
There's a very good possibility that we'll do it the following Wednesday too. At this point, it looks like we will be.
Okay, now, this is going to cost you a lot of money, Howard. You got the meat, the spaghetti, and all the other things going to it. Spaghetti, bread.
Well, right now, Adrian Duto with D&D Meats in Scioto was talking to Norm and found out that I was going to do this, and he said, I'll be glad to help out. So he's going to donate some of the hamburger, and I'm going to contact some of my other suppliers and see what they'll donate towards it.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Darn right it
huh?
does, yeah.
Makes you feel good. You can maybe get some bread from one of the suppliers and maybe some spaghetti. There's some more spaghetti dinners coming in here. Okay, we got to let one of these people go. Now, if anybody has any questions and they aren't able to get a hold of Norm or somebody, they could call here and get information from you. Now, have you any idea what would happen here if they'll have to come on Wednesday, find out too many people, and would have to come the following Wednesday? Has that been worked out yet?
No.
Okay. But if you want to help that computers, or you want to get some food, and you want to see Doris and Howard, just get one of those tickets. And I suppose there will be tickets at the door also.
That's right.
Yes.
Correct? And spaghetti goes pretty quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You bring your own napkin, right? You bring your own to get it all over. See, Howard's got his on already to eat, see? All right. Let's talk a little bit about your restaurant. Being on, they call it the pier restaurant, which to me is a little deceptive. I think they should call this the trestle or the, you didn't name it, I know that's the name it came here, but this is more than a pier. This was the old railroad track that crossed, right, the Rutland Railroad over in, as we just heard. The pictures, what about all these pictures on the wall? Did you have those made?
No, they were made by the previous owner, which is, his name was Rico Corona, that originally built this place. And he got the pictures and put them up on the wall.
Okay, now the pictures are all mostly of the Rutland and scenes from the trestle here that goes across the bridge.